Hello, and welcome back to the GSE channel. In today's training tip, we're going to focus on a little bit of empty hand self-defense techniques. The first thing we want to talk about is our position or our platform. Just like in shooting, everything starts from the ground up. Ideally, if I'm facing an assailant, I want to have my feet at about a 45-degree angle, just about shoulder width apart from each other. What this is going to allow is good linear and lateral balance. If my feet were perfectly parallel with each other, and he were to apply upward pressure across my body, I have no protection from falling backwards. If my feet were directly in line with each other, I would have no ability to keep from being pushed off to one side or the other. Okay, so again, feet are about shoulder width apart, slightly outside, depending on your size. Feet are about 45-degree angle from my body. As we move up, knees want to be bent, waist a little bit more bent at the waist, and hands are up just below your line of sight. If your hands are too far, then you start masking out what you're trying to look at. So just below your line of sight. You can have your hands open or your hands closed. It's all depending on your personal physique. From here, if we have to move, if he comes forward, I can take a step back. All right. If he moves to one side, for example, if he were to move to his left, I could move to my left and still maintain what we call a reactionary gap. That is essentially the distance that's going to allow me to react to anything that he tries to do towards me. From here, we're going to talk about the basic striking techniques. From the fingertips to the elbows, you have your fingertips that you could jab with. You have the knuckles of your punch, the base of your palm, and then what we call the knife or the hammer edge of your palm as well. You have the forearm, the outside and the inside, and then you have your elbow. When it comes to an elbow strike, you need to understand you only use the first 2 inches or the back 2 inches of your elbow. Don't use the tip or you'll end up shattering the bone. When we start talking about delivering striking techniques, we want to use a soft weapon versus a hard target. Meaning, if I want to strike to the face, which is essentially all bone, I don't want to use a hard weapon like my knuckles because it's a possibility they'll shatter. I want to use a soft weapon like the base of my palm or the hammer of my fist. Okay? So if I have to, I can strike like this or I can strike downward like this. I want to use a hard weapon versus a softer target, which will increase the amount of impact I can deliver on my subject. So for a hard weapon, for instance the knuckles or the elbow, I'd be looking more towards the center of the body or towards his arms as a striking technique. I can hit to the center of the chest, to the abdomen. I can strike across for his arms if he were to try and strike, and that would maximize the potential impact on the subject. So from here, for hard targets, for soft targets, if you'll notice, I stepped in when I delivered some of the different strikes. Reason being, for instance, the elbow strike is what we call a close-in strike. I can't very well deliver an elbow strike from way out here. So somehow I've got to close the distance. If he charges me, then I can step in and strike. If I have to close the gap on my own, I can take a larger step in, dropping my weight and stepping in and delivering the strike as need be. So understand the differences between using these types of strikes, which are an extended range, and these types of strikes, which are closer range. So as we recap, in today's training tip, we talked about our personal tools from our fingertips down to the tip of our elbow. Tune into some of our later training tips when we discuss using our knees and our feet as personal tools. If you have any other questions, please feel free to contact us at www.goldensealenterprises.com. Thank you and have a good day.